Allow me to quote the author of Self Matters, Dr. Phil McGraw. He asks, and I quote, "What if you are allowing days to turn into weeks, weeks to turn into months, and months to turn into years, all adding up to a lifetime of being what some nameless, faceless world has assigned you to be?" End of quote. It is unfortunate that I will begin today's topic sounding a bit critical. No one will know if I'm right about you, but you. I am not asking that you substitute my judgment for your own, but I am requesting that you be totally honest with yourself, even if it is scary to admit certain things about yourself and your life. In my last video, we noted that you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. For the sake of argument, I request you to fantasize with me for a moment. I wonder what you might choose for yourself if, all of a sudden, you could rewrite the script of your life from as early as you might want, right up until now. If you hadn't been pulled into the circle of life, with all of its messages, traps of responsibilities and expectancies, if you hadn't inherited the status quo, if you weren't born into a certain family, if you weren't buried so deep that you seem to have no choices, what would you choose? What would you choose if you weren't, for example, financially trapped, didn't have so many people depending on you, or you didn't feel overweight like I do? If instead of being trapped, you had the opportunity to shape your life around who you really are and what really defines you and matters to you, what would your life be like? How and what would you change? What if you questioned what difference it really makes which car you drive, where you live, how much money you earn, or why it matters whether some person likes or doesn't like you? Given a second chance, would you change things? Or would you decide that the familiar was safer and you just stick with what you had? Would you grab the second chance? Or would you choke at the last minute, afraid to venture into something new? Would you settle for what you have because you fear that there is nothing else out there for you? In this topic of the authentic self, you will discover that you have a whole lot more choice about what happens in your life than you can ever imagine. You are about to learn how to unravel your past in such a way that it no longer can control you or your future. This is a journey that begins with you refusing to accept and even make excuses for you and your life. If you don't have what you want and need, you must be willing to say so, and say so with conviction. This is Penny, and that was part 1 of The Authentic Self. Next week, we will have part 2 of the same, and probably part 3 in the week after. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so, kindly subscribe, like, and share. See you in my next video. Keep safe.